Everybody clap your hands. Oh, yeah. Here we go. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? How low can you go? Can you bring it to the top? Like it never never stop. Could you bring it to the top? One hop. Right foot now. Left foot now, y'all. Cha-cha real smooth. Turn it up. All right. Now back to whatever the fuck we were doing. Jesus Christ. All right. What are we calling it? MS Chef, right?
Cooking with MS Chef.
Welcome back to Cooking with the MS Chef. Episode number, thank you, Oven. Number 2, preheat your ovens now to 350. That's gonna be important later. I'll tell you why in a minute. We're gonna be cooking chicken for you today. Again, I know, right? It's amazing. What we're gonna be doing today is a creamy dill sauce chicken. So we're gonna have some dills, which is what this is, potatoes as a side, and we're also doing some roasted broccoli as well, which is what we're gonna be sliding that oven here in a minute. Now, we gotta get properly hydrated for the day. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off cutting some of the produce, and then we're gonna move to some of the proteins and go from there. Make sure you preheat that oven. This is something you're supposed to do while the oven's preheating, which I didn't do. So, we are going to chop up some dill, because we're gonna need a lot of it. Now, with dill, you wanna make sure you take it off the stems, like any good drug dealer knows. You don't want the stems, or the pharmaceutical company, really, depending on who's fucking you for the day. And we're gonna chop this up to use it in our chicken. Now, as it is with everything that I cook, it doesn't have to be pretty because it's beautiful on the inside, just like me. I'm not crying, you're crying. Anyway, so we're gonna chop this up. Careful not to cut yourself because I can't be held legally responsible if you cut yourself. I mean, I probably could, depending on the jury, but I really don't want to. I mean, if you sue me, all you're getting is college debt plus medical bills. A lot of medical bills. So we're gonna chop this up before I make myself sadder than I already am. All right, now we got ourselves some dill. It's funny, when I was a kid, I used to insult people. I call them a dill weed. I still have no idea what that is to this day because as far as I can tell, dill is not a weed. It's also not an insult. All right, so now we're gonna move to our protein. Now, chicken, especially when you're cooking it like this, should be dry when you put it in the pan. You don't want the excessive moisture because that's gonna slow down the cooking time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a paper towel. Don't use your hand towel, you'll cross-contaminate it. We get ourselves our paper towels. We're just gonna pat dry them. They don't have to be dry. I mean, dry enough, like if you're running out of skinny dipping in a jacuzzi, you can jump in the car and dry away. You know, drive away. I might already be drunk. We're just gonna pat dry it here, and then we're gonna put some salt and pepper on this bitch. And wash my hands again because chicken's fucking gross. Tunanilla and salmonella and halibutilla and all the nillas. Wafers. Anyway, get your salt and your pepper. Like any good 90s female rock band, rap band, and or jazz band, depending on which album you listen to, we'll have fucking salt and pepper. About the music and the ladies. And we are going to salt and pepper both sides, which is why I kept it on the paper towel, so that I can just, which is not working. Disappointed. We're gonna have a lot of cutting to do with the washing of the hands. I feel like fucking Jesus and the 12 apostles. Let me wash your hands. Or however he sounded. Do you think he had an accent? Because I saw that movie by that guy from that movie, and Jesus did not have an accent in the movie. So if I remember correctly, he spoke perfect English. Which is probably true, right? So the chicken's ready. The thing that's gonna take the longest is probably gonna be the potatoes. So we're gonna chop up the potatoes really quick, which I also should have done before the oven was preheated. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Kevin, Mr. MS Chef, are we gonna put the potatoes in the oven? And you know, on any other day, I'd be like, you know what? That's a smart decision. Really, it is. That's not what we're doing. Normally we would. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pan fry the potatoes. And we're gonna roast the broccoli. And if we're roasting the broccoli, that means we're putting the broccoli in the oven. I'm just gonna do like cubes, like you would for like breakfast. If you ever do potatoes with your breakfast. Ooh, we should do an episode on breakfast foods. Ooh, that'd be a fun one. How many ways can Kevin make eggs? At least 2. scrambled and not. No, I should say this as a caveat. Last time, our camera died. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember that. And I looked like an idiot the whole time, just talking to the camera. I was like, what? And it was off the whole time. I felt like Bill O'Reilly on a Tuesday. That's mean. That might be too mean. Ooh, while I'm cutting, I got a joke for you. So, I was on vacation in Europe a couple years ago. And I was staying at this small little like cottage, like an inn type hotel thing in Spain, right? And I woke up one morning, I wasn't feeling good. I felt like shit, actually. And I called the front desk and I was like, hey, I need to see a doctor. I don't feel good and I need to know why, you know. Traveling to Europe and it's all a new country. I don't know what doctors are. What's the number for 911 in Spain? 911? Like how do you dial that on a phone? Anyway, so it's like, hey, I don't feel good. And the front desk man is like, oh, no, you don't need to go to a doctor. We have a doctor on staff. I'll send him right up. And I was like, well, doctor on staff? What the fuck? And so the doctor comes up, said it's fine. It's just a mild virus or whatever. It gives me some drugs to take. And he's like, just, you know, take some old Gatorade if you can, which is weird that they knew that word in Spain, and just sleep it off type of thing. Rest and rehabilitation. And I was like, you know, I was super surprised that you guys had a doctor on staff. It's not what I expected. Then he turns to me and he says, nobody expects the Spanish physician. Aha. I fucking hate myself. It's such a stupid joke. Why do potatoes take so long to cut? If you want, you can just roast them whole in the oven. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but it's gonna save you from doing this shit because after potato number 3, it gets annoying. And I don't know how many I've cut up, but I have a lot left. Wah. I should have gotten one of those slap chop things. Do they still sell those? Just fucking bang bang like a rap song. Bang bang.
I want to try and get
Potato can?
potato can.
Okay, what's like from here? All right. It looks just like my dick. I'm a little potato. I'm a little potato. Potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. We are doing none of those things today. We're not boiling them, we're not mashing them, and we're definitely not sticking them in a stew. We're gonna pan fry them. I don't know if they had oil on them when they were going to Mordor, or its sister city, Lestor, or its cousin city, entirely Window. I should never write children's books. Chef view. You should put it like right here. Never gonna do chef view. Yeah, kind of like that. This feels like the POV in a porn movie. It's bold of people to call those movies because they're entertaining for about 2 minutes and 37 seconds, and then after that, you just look at it with shame. You just go back to it, and you're like, ugh, gross. I'm gonna give you guys a bit of advice here today, all right? Especially if you're a man or a woman or human in any way, shape, or form. If you guys have a big decision to make, like, should I text my ex? There's one thing you have to do. Jack off. And then afterwards, if you still want to text your ex, then actually think about it. Because if you make the decision after post self-coitus, which is Latin for shame, if you still have the decision, it means you don't miss them because of the physical sense, more of the emotional sense, or whatever. My ex-girlfriend's technically my wife, because she's no longer my girlfriend. So, we're gonna take the potatoes. Sprinkle them as best we can on the pan. And we have here our trusty olive oil, which like most sacrifices is extra virgin. I hate myself so much. My cat just groaned.
The cat hates you too.
My cat hates my jokes. That's where my life is. Now we're gonna put a healthy amount of olive oil, like about as much oil as you would find in the typical American arteries. And we're gonna turn on that burner because you can't cook potatoes without heat, which is 100% true. And then we're going to season our potatoes with salt. and cumin. Now, pepper. I don't even know what cumin is. Although, I didn't know it was pronounced cumin. I always thought it was pronounced cumin. Like if somebody knocks on the door and it's unlocked, you're like, ah, cumin. What the fuck? Now we're gonna let that cook. We're gonna let that sit for a minute, and then we have to cook our broccoli. So we're gonna grab our trusty pan that I usually use for cookies. As you can tell, it's very clean. I mean, it's been washed before, but it's also, there's evidence of it being used. Now we're gonna cook the broccoli. Now, usually you're supposed to take the little leaves off because they're bad for you, and you probably should take the leaves off. I've had a lot to drink today. Today was my Monday, mostly because it was Monday. I just said I wasn't gonna take the leaves off, and I'm taking the fucking leaves off. This is my life. And kind of offset them a little bit so that it doesn't all cook unevenly. And then before we slide that in there, we're gonna put some more olive oil on it. Now, not a lot, all right? Because if you put too much olive oil on the pan, America's gonna invade it until it needs democracy. So just, you know, just enough for them to be interested in it. I might be on the list now. I'm using coarse salt, which is different than class salt, because it's somehow more expensive. That was a college joke. I don't get it either. And then we're gonna slide this bitch in the oven! Look at that shit. It's hot. And then remember to clean as you go, because we talked about this. A clean chef is just a chef. We've all seen that Disney movie with the rat. What was it called? Ratatouille. That's right. Good job. You said it, I didn't. Oh, that is really good wine. It's really good. Now, potatoes are cooking. You can hear them crackling. Give them a stir every now and then, because, I mean, you want some of them to be crunchy, but you don't want it to burn unevenly. Nothing's worse than like 3 potatoes that are burnt, and then 3 that aren't even cooked, and then 3 that are perfect, because then you just have a shitty mouthful. Now, we're gonna do some oil on the pan. This one's really important when you're cooking with the chicken. Less oil than you use for the broccoli and for the potatoes, because this is gonna be somewhat of a lubricant so the chicken doesn't stick to the pan, but if you put too much, it's gonna start frying it, and that's not really good for taste or for your moneymaker or your hands. Whatever your moneymaker is, just don't put it near the pan. And then while that heats up, you can tell the pan's ready to go when the oil's easier to move around. Right now, it just looks like an ink blot. See, look. What do you see? I see oil on my floor. God damn it. But just for me, I don't like it when chicken sticks to the thing. There's not a lot of oil on there, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more on each chicken. Always wash your hands after handling chicken. Should have gone into music, because that sounds amazing. All right, next item on the list, we're cooking a sauce, which I pronounce sauce. Now for the sauce, we're going to need, you guessed it, dill, and chicken broth, and or stock, whichever is easier to come by. Difference between chicken broth and chicken stock? I don't really know. I guess one has more fiscal responsibility, and that's why it has stock. That was awful. So, we're gonna add some sour cream to the chicken broth, salt and pepper, because those are the 2 ingredients that go with everything. Keep those things rotating, you don't want them to burn. Stay in school, kids. It's very important. And now, a word from our sponsor. Oh, hygiene. Oh, that's right, ladies. I keep clean. It's one of the 67 reasons my wife loves me. And I know what you're thinking, 67. Shouldn't it be 69? No, pervert. Nobody's perfect. Anyway. Or something. All right, now go ahead and flip the chicken. You want it to brown, but you don't want it to burn. It's gonna take about 5 to 6 minutes on each side, or until you feel they're ready to go. Now, our sauce. We weren't even done with our sauce. Why would you let me get off track? We're gonna take a very healthy pinch of dill. And then, the secret recipe that you've all been waiting for. Dijon Mustard. Now I know what you're thinking. Dijon, what is that? That's Mustard's cousin that went to Harvard and thinks he's better than you. That's all he is. Just a little bit of that. And then we're gonna heat that up. We're gonna put that on low because it's a sauce. We don't want that shit to burn. If you put it on high, it's gonna cook too fast, and it's gonna burn really fast. There is no better sound than potatoes in oil. except for maybe bacon and a bunch of other things. There is no better sound in this moment, right now, than potatoes in oil. Now let that cook, bring it to a simmer. We want that sauce thick, like with 4 C's, thick. Okay? And we'll adjust that later. Remember to give your homies a drink, too. The wine's just for flavor. It adds more flavor to chicken. It's not a necessity. It's not a requirement. It's just a taste that you begin to develop over time. If you don't like it, leave it out. If you do like it, put it in. But don't boil the chicken in wine. That's very important. And what I mean by that is the amount of chicken versus the amount of wine. Is you don't want this to make a pool. You're not taking the kids to the pool. It's just enough for a flavor to be established. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit, just a little bit of garlic. Garlic goes good with everything, except for ice cream. Got my trusty spoon.
I like to keep the garlic in the jar because it's easier to kind of throw. I think the worst part about kind of throw is the smell.
Also, very important, PSA, don't mix alcohols. Okay, so back to cooking. Chicken is done. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna slide it back. And then I know what you're thinking. Kevin, the burner's still on. That's you, that's what you sound like. We're gonna take the sauce that was over here and we're gonna move it because everything else is ready. Potatoes are just about done. Oof. Broccoli's done. Now we're gonna crank up the sauce because we need the sauce. Sauce is delicious. I'm gonna spill some sauce on my already clean stove. God damn it. I'm not gonna clean again until next week. I know what you're thinking, Kevin, why don't you move cleaning day to Tuesday? Fuck you, Tuesday's laundry day. Which is not true, I made that up. Anyway, now what I'm gonna do, and don't tell my wife, but I'm gonna add some cayenne pepper. Oh God, that's a lot of... Don't inhale dust from a cayenne pepper. Oh God, it burns. It hurts. Remember, folks, I am a professional. No, fuck you. I'm out of wine. Anyway, cayenne pepper. Now we're going to add just a dash. Not too much. You don't want the potatoes to be spicy. You just want them to not taste like potatoes with salt and pepper, because they will, inevitably. That's what potatoes taste like when you put salt and pepper on them. It's amazing. Anyway, a little bit of cayenne pepper. Give it a bit of a stir. Drop a potato. A little bit more of cayenne pepper. Because what's gonna happen is if you just dump it on the top, you're gonna get like 3 potatoes that are like, oh shit, and then like 97,000 more potatoes that are like, oh wow, these are lame. I could have done with some cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper's a pepper. If you couldn't tell from the fucking name. It's like one of the lowest on the Richter scale of spiciness, which is not what it's called. I don't know what it's called, but it's the spicy level. It's like the lowest one. It's not that much, but it's enough for you to notice it's there. Let me give you an example. Tabasco, which is not at all spicy, is higher up than a cayenne pepper. Paprika is higher up than a cayenne pepper. Legally not a fact, because I don't know. Anyway. All pepper. Why did I do that? Back to where I was before, when I said I need more wine. That was a lot of noise. I think I broke something. But here we are at bottle number 1 still, because the label says so, of wine. And I know what you're thinking, Kevin. So disappointed. You sound like my sponsor, which I don't have yet. See? It's white. Help me. It's delicious. Hold on, my cameraman wants some as well, because it's that good. So, back to cooking. Oh yeah. Ooh, the sauce is bubbly. That's a good sign, because we want bubbly sauce. That means it's thickening. We're gonna give it a quick taste test. Make sure it's exactly the type of sauce that we want. Don't use this spoon, use a different one, because this is your stirring spoon. And you're gonna get your fucking gross mouth germs all over your stirring spoon, you nasty asses. Also, important thing to know, you're gonna use a bunch of different things if you're worried about cross-contamination with this. If you're cooking for like your family and shit, like your kids sneeze in your face and like wipe their nose and then touch your iPad, like that type of shit, do whatever the fuck you want. All right, not bad. We're gonna add some more dill sauce though. I said dill, I don't know why I did. I meant chicken broth. I've had 1 bottle of wine. I'm still working on it. So we're gonna add some more chicken broth, make it a little bit more liquidy, and then we're gonna add a little bit more sour cream to make it a little bit more, not sour, creamy. Stupid. You know what bums me about this thing? I had it made for me by a friend because I started on Snapchat. I don't know if you know that, but I know that, so that's all that matters. That was my name on Snapchat. It was great, and a coworker made that for me. It's fucking phenomenal. I love it. That's like my favorite thing ever. But some bastard had the audacity, and that's not fair, I'm sure he's a nice guy, had the audacity to start a cooking channel called Cooking with Kevin because his name's Kevin. What a dick. Also, again, that's probably not true. He's probably a nice guy, and that was a magic trick. Did you see that? I only had 1 bottle of wine the whole time. Potatoes are looking solid. Broccoli is looking fucking cooked. Look at that, roasted like Dave Chappelle on Comedy Central, or IMDb, or Rotten Tomatoes, or anything he's really done in the last 5 years, which is a shame. I love that guy, he's so great. Now, we just gotta get our sauce going. Now we add a little bit more of everything, mostly because there's 3 pieces of chicken. So we're gonna mix that shit in. We're gonna add some salt, which is conveniently right here. Add that in, and I know what you're thinking. Kevin, salt's only 50% of the band. That's right. And, see, now there's too much Dijon. We're gonna add broth, because I got an aftertaste of sour cream. Not sauce, sour cream, which is not what you want. You want an aftertaste of delicious, like an orgasm in your mouth. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. See, the drunker I get, the more sexual the jokes get. The bad news is, there's not a lot of flavor in the potatoes. Like at all. They just taste like potatoes. This is the only downside to using coarse salt. If you can, use like a fine ground salt. What is my cat fucking with? Oh, the wine cap. God damn it. I hate you so much. Stupid cat. I'll take that. Gross. Anyway, the downside to using coarse salt is that the flavor doesn't really get, the salt flavor, not the potato flavor. Salt flavor doesn't really get into anything. Luckily, we have a plan B, which is a salt grinder. Is it extra? Probably. But so is filming your own YouTube channel for cooking. Or something. So we're gonna grind up some salt. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kevin, that's not sea salt, that's lake salt. And you'd be wrong, it's Himalayan salt. Wrong element, motherfucker. It's land, not water. Himalayan salt is from the Himalayas, supposedly. And it's better for you, supposedly. And it's pink, actually. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spread some Himalayan salt on the potatoes because the salt that I put on there before did not go through whatsoever. Now there's nothing wrong with coarse salt. There's nothing wrong with fine salt. There's nothing wrong with salt in general. Salt is delicious. But coarse salt does not break down, oh no, potatoes down, 2 potatoes down. Coarse salt does not break down the way you would want it to, especially under heat and with potatoes. So ground salt is the best. I hope this has been a learning lesson for you, as it has for me. Because I already knew this, which is why I feel shame. Sauce is looking good. We got some caramelization on the top, which I already got rid of before the camera zoomed in. Plus some more sauce on the stove because I spilled, which brings me more shame. It was a very shameful day for me today. That's good. All right, cool. So, sauce is done. Also, when your broccoli is done, turn off the oven, but leave it in there because it'll keep it warm. And you're gonna put it out and you'll be like, guys, broccoli's ready. And people are gonna start eating it, and by the time you're ready to serve dinner, you have no fucking broccoli. And I'm speaking from experience, because I'm a fat ass. I don't have another comeback for that. Now we're going to use our handy dandy Cooking with Kevin, which is me. I'm gonna have to make a new one that says Cooking with MS Chef. So Kevin, if you're watching, not me, but the other, this one, which is also not me, I'm very upset with you in general. Yeah. Broccoli's done. We're gonna take it out. Ow! Don't touch it without a mitt. That's very important because it burns. So the chicken is done. It's warm, which is solid. Sauce is done. It's delicious, which is also solid. What we're going to do is we're going to plate it. Now we're going to attempt. Ugh, this might not go well. We're going to attempt to make the plate look pretty, like we're on a date or something. Good luck. Have our plate. Ta-da. My wife is home, which is perfect. I don't need that anymore. We're going to take our chicken, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it on high for a second. Get some time to heat up. While I do that, I'm gonna get some potatoes on the plate. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Kevin, you're using the same tongs that you use on the chicken. Yes, yes I am. I'm a bottle into this night and don't really give a shit anymore. Cross-contamination's bad though, so don't do it. Unless you're drunk. I mean, don't do it at all. I'm drunk, that's my excuse. Everybody needs one. Ta-da! Was that enough to really do anything? No, probably not. Probably didn't do a goddamn thing. My wife likes broccoli, so we're going to put 2 things on there so that she can eat 2 things of broccoli. Because she's a grilling girl. Growing woman. I'm at that point of drunk where the mouth goes numb. You know what I'm talking about, fucking stoners. Drunks. Sauce is obviously for the chicken. That's where most of the chicken gets the flavor. And then we have our extra dill, which we saved. You saved some, right? Greedy fuck. Because this is what it's for. At the end of it, you're gonna take some dill, put it right there on the top with the sauce. Now, I hope when you do it, it looks prettier than what I just did. And then this just so happens to be one of her favorite wines. All right, and there you have it. And that's Cooking with Kevin, featuring wine and potatoes and chicken and stuff. Be sure to click subscribe, and tune in for the next one, which will be eventually. I don't know. I'm not on a set schedule. I'm not paid for this yet. Thanks for watching. I still looked at the camera. Force of habit. Baby, you can come up. Your dinner's ready.
I'm sorry, I was loading on the cat.
Oh, okay. Well, your dinner's still ready. I made yours first because I saw your car. Hello, wife.
Hi, husband.
What do you call a bunch of cows masturbating in a field?
I don't know, Kevin. What do you call a bunch of cows masturbating in a field?
Beef stroganoff.